guys. Oh my God. First of all, I just want to say hey because I recognize many of you from the comments and you guys are my friends. You're part of the Kellie TV family now. So what is up? I'm going to come over here and say hey to all of you individually. If you are new here, welcome because I know how popular this show is. So I'd say that there are some new people in the room. And if not, that's okay. They'll come along later. But I'm so excited for this moment because this is my first live chat for MTV Scream. And I love this show so much. And I give you guys all of the credit because I had so many of you, tell me I need to watch this show. And I binged the first season. And I'm so glad that I did because I freaking love it. So let me just shout out a couple of you or all of you who are here. And if you haven't said hey yet, please do so that I can say hey to you. Hey to Mark, Holly, Brittany, Julian, Vanessa, Tony, Ben, Mr. Hod. I'm not sure how we say your name, but I know you've been here before. Who else is here? Julian, Connor. Okay, so could use a melody. Hey guys, so let me just give you a little background. I was thinking last night, like, why did I not watch season 1 when it was on? And the reason that I didn't, because I was like, I don't understand. See, I'm like a huge fan of the Scream movie series. And if you guys haven't seen that, please try to watch those because I know like the first one came out like a billion years ago when I was like a kid. So they're old, some of them. I mean, they're all pretty old, but try to go back and watch them if you haven't. At least watch the first one. And I know a lot of you here have seen them all, but I was such a big fan. Hi, William. And of the series, the movie series, and I was like, there's no way that MTV can do this justice. They're going to screw it up. And I was just like, I'm not going to watch it because I love that series so much. Like, I didn't want a TV series to like copy it and butcher it. And when I watched this first season, I was like, it is so much like Scream the movie, and I loved it for doing that. It stayed true to the movie. I loved it. And what I loved about last night's episode is that it was staying true to Scream 2, the movie. And like what I'm saying, if you haven't seen the movies, you don't have enough perspective about how great the show is because you can love the show without seeing the movies. But if you've seen the movies, you understand how they're trying so hard to keep it like in line with the movies to not screw up that legacy. So Scream 2, the movie, starts out with there being a slasher movie exactly like this episode started. I mean, there are definitely some differences, but I was loving it. Mr. Hode, I'm not sure how we say your name. If you want me to call you something else, did not like the movies, that's fine because everyone has different opinions. But in my opinion, the first Scream was like one of my favorite movies of all time. And then none of the others measured up to that, which makes me wonder about this season and if they have other seasons, because just like a horror movie, it's very hard to come out with a sequel and have it be as good as the first version. So I'm kind of, I feel like they have a lot to live up to because I felt like season 1 was fantastic. So in a way, I'm going to be like a little bit concerned to see if they can pull it off, because if they can't pull it off this season, the other seasons can't be very good either, in my opinion. But I felt like episode 1, season 2 was great. The fact that they killed off a main character was really important. I think that was such a good move because they needed to come out strong. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, if you take out that part of the show, it would have been a weak opening because not really much happened. I mean, we had that scene where we had the fake person get stabbed or whatever, but who cares? So I think that they needed to do something big. I mean, Jake, yes, was the main character. I was really shocked that they went there, and I was very glad that they did. He's the main character, but he's not like the main. I mean, Emma is really the main character, but the rest of them are all kind of equal in how important they are to the show. So any of those people could have been killed, and I think that would have been a good move. So I was like, you go. That was awesome to me that they killed him off. I mean, I liked him okay, but we don't need him. And I just thought that was great. So let me get back to your comment. So Brittany's never seen the movies, but like if you ever have some free time, I think they're probably on Netflix. Even if you just want to watch the first one is just so good, but it's probably going to look really weird now because I think it was from, who knows, 90 something. But like I've watched it several times. So I'm just like, oh my God, it's just so, it's like very classic horror in my opinion. because it was the first movie of its kind to make fun of all kinds of other horror movies, yet do it in a way that it wasn't a comedy, and I just loved it so much. So, yeah, I agree. The prank was crazy, and it was, I mean, out of control because it resulted in someone getting stabbed, Tony. So, like, you don't prank people who've actually been through real crap, you know? Adam says, love the premiere. Shocked to see a main character gone. What is going to happen to Emma? We have so much to talk about because obviously Emma is having these visions, and she's seen things. I don't really know where they're going with that. That's going to be like kind of a theme for this season. Like there's more to her than just a random teen character. Like she's got some big connection. She's just like Nev Campbell's character in the movies. Mark totally saw Jake's death coming, but still gasped when he died. I didn't know if they were going to go there or not. I mean, when he got his foot caught like in the animal thing, the animal trap, I was like, this is not good. I thought there was a good chance it was going to go there, but then I didn't know because they drug it out. But, you know, I'm glad they did. And Mark is loving it so far. So Vanessa is thinking that Brooke is a suspect. I've been seeing a lot of you guys say that. Because of the party, she says Jake mentioned girl interrupted, and the words in the act said boy interrupted. That's a good catch. Apparently Scream the movie is not on Hulu or Netflix. Like, I can't believe this because they definitely should be there. They're super old. Even the latest version, which like they weren't going to make anymore, and they came out with a fourth one because it's so popular and like fans wanted to see it again, and they brought like a bunch of the old characters back, but I don't know. It sucks that that's not on there. Like, I'm really shocked. So Jake was a useless character, says Mr. Hode. He was, absolutely. But he was one of the main people. I mean, he was a crossover. He was from, you know, they kept all of their people, which I was glad because I had read some stuff that some of the main characters might not be back or might be replaced with someone else. So I think, you know, if they were going to kill somebody, yeah, I'm glad it was him. If they killed a random person or a new person, it wouldn't have had the same effect. I mean, I think that was a good decision. I don't think, even if they killed Brooke, to me, she's just as important as Jake, you know? Well, they really made us think that Emma was going to the same barn that Jake was being held at, but they're two different barns. So I thought that was interesting. And you have to wonder what is going on with the person who's in that house that has like all those pictures up of Emma. So I really don't know. You know, I don't know if they're going to tie in more family members of, what's his name, Brandon James. I'm not sure. So William's asking, what do I think of Audrey being the target this season like Emma was in the first? Well, I mean, I think that's okay. And, you know, we thought kind of last year, I always suspected her, and she definitely had some sort of involvement in this. So I think we need to be careful with her because they may try to make us feel like she's someone we can trust and she's a victim when we could turn it all back around and have her be the killer. You just never know, or have her still being involved because they had, you know, a lot of things to lead you to believe she was involved last season, especially with her relationship with Piper. So we could be totally thinking she's a victim and then she's going to end up being the killer or something. So I think we need to really watch what they do with her. Adam wants to know if I think the killer will end up being one of the season 1 characters or a new character. You know, I will be disappointed if this killer is someone we haven't met, or what, we have a couple of new characters we just met last night. So I think no one wants that. So I'm hoping that it is definitely one of the main people from season 1. I hope it's not like Brandon James' brother who got brought up last night. I know. So I just feel like, oh my God, like I always have these random face itches when I come on here. Like I never have them when I'm not talking to you guys. I mean, maybe I do, but anyway. Brittany says they have like 3 and 4, but what's the point? Okay, so there's like Scream 3 and 4. But, like, I can't believe why Netflix would not have the Scream original movie. Like, that makes no sense because that's just classic. I think Jake was annoying. I mean, he really was into himself. But something else I wanted to mention, and some of you guys were asking me on Twitter about this because I tweeted about it. So, for the first time, they are doing a Scream after show directly after the show on MTV. And I know some of you guys who don't live in the US may not have access to that. People were asking me how to watch. I'm not sure. I know last year they were putting everything on the MTV app as far as the episodes. So if anybody knows if that show was on there too, it was kind of really out there and like eccentric, but it was cool because they interviewed the guy who plays Jake. They interviewed the girl from the very beginning who was killed in the movie version. So Julian didn't like the prankster girl, literally just annoying. She's really annoying, and I thought she was just like a person who we would just see for a little bit, but like she's apparently in the, I don't know how big of a role she's going to have this season, but I thought it was annoying. Hi, Louisa. Hi, Dren. Thank you so much for being here. Do I think Piper is dead because they never showed her body? Asked Vanessa. You know, that's a good question. I really don't like Piper. Like, I'm sure nobody does. And I really think I'm going to be annoyed if she comes back or if she's still the killer or something crazy like that. Like, that's a cop-out. That's lame. So I never thought about that. But if they try to make her the killer again, that's freaking lame. All I'm saying. But there is another person. There has to be another person. They pretty much told us, even if they try to be like, hey, Piper's still out there killing people, she had someone working with her. Again, they could come back around and say that it is Audrey, okay? Because you just need to be really careful in thinking she's the victim and feeling sorry for her, because what the heck was she doing writing all those letters to Piper? You know, they could be throwing all that out there to make her look super innocent, because then we're looking at everyone but her, and then it's her. So you guys know how these shows go. If you've watched the movies, you know how they go. When we're trying to figure out who is our killer, chances are it's going to be the least likely person. And I was talking to you guys in the comments before we started, and there's a good chance to me that that an adult could be involved. By adult, I mean one of the parents, somebody with the police, even the guy. I don't know what happened to the teacher guy. Branson, was that his name? Who was like having the affair with, what is her name? Brooke. What happened to him? He could come back around. That's kind of lame, but whatever. Hi, Holly. Thank you for being here. And I'm sorry if I missed your comments. Please comment again. Don't want anyone to think I'm ignoring you. They just fly by. If you've ever done one of these live chats and hosted it, you can't even catch it. Like once it's gone, it flies by. So I'm trying to catch as many as I can. So a lot of people were talking on Twitter about Emma being the killer. Of course, that would be the least likely. So I don't know, maybe she has some mental issues because she's seeing things, having flashbacks. I don't know. Apparently there's some rumors that Carlson Young, who plays Brooke, is leaving the show. Now, she may be killed off. I definitely think we can expect more murders in this season, and definitely more big people, main people, you know, being killed. Absolutely. Because that's the way that is true to Scream and the movies. They're going to kill everybody off, usually, except for like Emma is probably going to make it, maybe one or two other people. So Brittany thinks that Audrey was talking to Piper saying that she wanted them to get revenge, and Piper came up with the psycho killing, and Audrey probably didn't think it would go that far. I mean, most likely, Brittany, I think that Audrey is not going to be our killer. But I just think we need to be careful. If the show, like, you know, last night's episode was very much making her look like the victim, and oh my God, she's being stalked, and poor Audrey and everything. If they keep going with that theme and like driving that hard, then it's always going to be the opposite of what they keep throwing in our face. So I think that we need to definitely pay attention to her. If they kind of drop that, then I think, you know, we don't really have to. So Holly says it could be her boyfriend. He's upset his dad died because her family. Now, Kieran, how do you say his name? I always forget. He definitely was suspicious to me last season. Of course, who wasn't? I mean, I definitely had issues with a few people. I mean, I thought Branson, they make everyone look suspicious, of course, and that's fine. In this show, it's fine. It works. But I don't know. Could the new killer be Emma's father? Asked Dren. Okay, remind me of this. So, like, yes, he played a role a little bit, and he was kind of a suspect. For a while, we thought it was him. I was thinking last night, like, is her dad Brandon James, or is that other dude her dad who thought he was her dad? Because I've forgotten, even though it's been a few months. Hi, Angel. If that's not how you say, it's probably on hell, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to let me know. Adam's asking what's up with the new guy character that drew the creepy picture of Emma in class while staring at her. Do you think he will have a major role? You know, I think they need to throw in these new characters to throw us off. And I think that they will definitely make some of these people look suspicious, but they won't be the killer. That's very important to the dynamic of the show. They can't just keep pointing at the same main characters every season. And plus, when they're going to be killing off some of the main people, they need new people to look suspicious. I think this show's super smart, super good. I don't think they're going to bring one of these new people in and make them one of the main killers. So I trust that they won't do that, but they need them for the show. It's important to have new people. They will. I'm pretty sure they're going to start making those new people look mega suspicious, but I just think that we are smart enough not to fall for that. So Noah is someone that I very much suspected. I, down to the end, thought Noah was involved or could be the killer last season. Vanessa's talking about him now. I still could see that. He's a little over obsessed, but you know, I don't know. I don't know where they're going with that. Like, he has, you know, that murder board and everything. Like, he's taken it like really too far. But we know that the killer is posting on his podcast, and he kind of arranged the prank that happened at the movie theater. So Brittany could see it being Kieran, I guess is how you say his name. Definitely has a motive and opportunity. I definitely think he's creepy, but it might be a little bit too easy, but we'll see. In Scream, the original Scream, there were 2 killers revealed at the end. And I'm sorry because I've spoiled that for you guys who haven't seen it, but that's important to know. But they kind of did that with this show because they named one killer and they insinuated that there's a second. However, I could see them doing a 2-person reveal in tribute to the movies this year. So I think we need to think about that. And that's why sometimes I think about Audrey, because I think Audrey and someone else could be revealed. Need to think more broad than just, hey, it's just going to be one killer again. So Mark thinks that Audrey's stalker is different than the killer. Audrey's letters to Piper were in the bathroom stall, supposedly left by the killer, but the killer was murdering Jake at that time. So that's a really good point. Audrey's stalker could be someone that is messing with her, but is not like the killing type, you know? Or like I've said before, it could be a setup to make us think she's a victim, and she is doing that herself. I mean, obviously she can't text herself, but she could have, you know, I don't know. They could be playing with us on that. Emma is very different, obviously. Is Julian saying she was kind of rude or really rude? I don't really, you know, take it as her being rude. I just think that she went through so much and she was affected really more than, well, I guess Kieran had some issues because his dad died, but I think she is just not able to deal with everything that she went through. She's exactly Neve Campbell's character, for those of you who have seen the movies, and that's kind of how Neve Campbell, I think, acted in season 2. So yeah, that's just classic. I don't, you know, in the movies, they never made the main character the killer. So I don't really know if they're going to go there, but we will see, because they don't want it to be predictable, and they know a lot of this have seen the movies. So Dren says her dad was the other guy who left the family because Piper and Emma were only half sisters. So her dad was the other dude who like visited her in the hospital and everything. That's kind of what I thought. Brandon was Piper's dad. There we go. Okay. I thought the last couple of episodes for season 1 were so fantastic. And I'm expecting something just like this for season 2. Like, they were just fantastic. Tony is wondering if Audrey's stalker is Noah, which I think is good. And I really like Mark's theory, which I haven't seen anyone say, that we have different people doing different things, which is very insightful. And I think that is smart to be thinking that way, because this show is always a few steps ahead of everyone. And it's definitely not what it seems. That's why I'm going with there may be 2 killers revealed. There could be more than 2. It'll be interesting to see how they play that out. They don't want it to be a repeat of, you know, season 1. So they're going to have to throw some surprises in there. Brittany thinks that Noah looks more suspicious. Definitely was getting vibes from him last night that he could be involved, just because he's overly invested in all of this, and he doesn't really have a reason to be, in my opinion, because he's not related to these people or anything, so we think. I don't know. Mark thinks they're pushing Troy James so much. If he ends up being the sheriff and the killer, I will be so sad. There we go. That is another thing that we should look at. The police guy had a big role. I don't even know his name, but he played quite a big role in last night's episode. You know, I think the possibility of Troy being alive and around is big. And And do we have proof that Brandon is dead? Because I could always see him resurfacing as well. And very good call that these people, Brandon, Troy, whoever, could be posing as people we know and have changed their names and everything. Dren would love it if Noah was involved in the killing, stalking. I would really like that too. Mr. Hode is wondering if the show can have a season 3. Yeah, I think so, absolutely. Because the movie was able to come up with 4 different movies, the movie series. So I think that's completely possible, but what they have to do is make sure they make this season fantastic, because it's just so easy to make it not live up to season 1, and then you have, kind of like the movies, in my opinion, went that way. Like the second movie wasn't as good, and the third movie wasn't really that good. And honestly, by the fourth movie, it was almost like Scream Queens, where it was kind of a freaking comedy. Like there were some very funny moments, and that was okay because it was more like a reunion movie. But like they definitely probably are not going to make any more of those movies. So at some point, I don't think that this show can go on for like Pretty Little Liars, even though that show has been dead forever, but keeps on coming out. Like, I think it's a show with a short shelf life, because it just kind of, it's the same premise. And at some point, like, hey, we're going to have another season and we're going to have a new killer, and it just gets old and the people are going to get older. I know that doesn't stop Pretty Little Liars, but it makes no sense to be doing this for 6 seasons and the actors are like 30 something, and it just makes no sense unless they want to have all, brand new people. At some point, I think it gets old. So we just don't know about Brandon, as Brittany's saying. Like, I could definitely see them saying he's alive and he's like one of the people we know who could be the police person or whatever. Adam said that Bella Thorne, who was in the very first episode of season 1, is going to return in this season. Do I think she will return as a ghost, or Emma's mind playing tricks on her like it did, or with Will, like the flashback kind of episode? I feel like maybe she'll be in some flashbacks, and I'm not really sure though, but I think that's interesting. I was kind of surprised that we didn't have, and if I didn't know, I mean, like maybe I don't know those people, but the people in the movie, they did not look familiar to me. But I usually Scream, the movies are known for having like super famous people make cameos and they get murdered quickly. So I don't know. I was expecting someone famous. Maybe that girl with I have no idea who she was. The blonde hair girl who got killed in the movie. I don't know. I don't know if she's a famous person. I've never seen her before. Maybe you guys know her. So who do I think was at the end of the episode, the person in the house? That's what I don't know. It may be like a false alarm. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. So yeah, Tony's like, whenever someone put down Noah's blog, he got pissed until they caved and Noah got his way. Yeah, you definitely see that he's someone with anger issues. But again, everyone is going to look suspicious in this show. And I'm totally fine with that because they execute it well. So we just have to be careful. And even though I think he's a good suspect, there's a lot of red herrings. And I don't have a problem with that because they do it well and they will wrap it up and it'll make sense. But we can't fall for all of that. So that's who that was, a Vine star. Okay, because I deleted Vine from my phone. So I wasn't really into that. So that's lame. Like, I feel like they should have done something, like more on Scream Queens level, like an Ariana Grande or somebody like, or a guy that we all know. I don't know. Maybe you guys are all fans of hers. I don't know. But I just felt like that was lame. But I don't know. I don't watch Vine videos anymore. I'm just not a fan of that. So what if they went the transgender route and had the new female teacher be Troy? Possibly. I really was suspicious of her for some reason. I tweeted that I don't know. I feel like she's going to be a suspect. So Mark, you just never know. So apparently Bella is going to be back because she's telling people that in interviews. So I feel like hopefully she doesn't come back as a ghost, because I feel like that's really lame. And I hope they don't try to act like she's still alive or something crazy, because we know she's freaking dead. I hate when those shows do that. Holly thinks it could be adoptive family member or boyfriend, girlfriend of Piper wanting revenge for her death, and they know all about Audrey and her plans. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, but I also think that gets kind of stupid because we're involving people we don't know, and I hate when shows want to make main villains people who we've never seen, and they're like, oh, but they're someone's relative or they're someone's boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. It's like, okay, but they could go there. I mean, I'm just hoping that it is one of our main people who has a good reason, because we don't know everything about them. And I think that's something that Brooke, what Carlson was saying in an interview I saw, that like, you think you know all this stuff about all of those characters. We don't know. We don't know their backgrounds. We have no idea. Holly's asking if Piper or Emma could be a twin. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm hoping that it's a twin that's not a, a fraternal twin, and it's someone we know. That's kind of what I'm hoping. Oh yeah, Nev Campbell would have been awesome to be in it. I mean, what would be so epic really is if they got any of the people from the Scream movie, the big people from the Scream movie, do some kind of cameo. But what I feel like they would be thinking is that it's just not their demographic, because Nev Campbell's not relevant. And I feel like okay, Adam, thank you so much for being here. I feel like if they brought one of these people on, people would be like, who the heck is that? Because it's just been a while. And, I just feel like for millennials and people who are younger, I don't feel like those people are really that relevant. I mean, we have like Courtney Cox and David Arquette and people that aren't very relevant to their demographic. But to me, that would be cool. They could have them as a teacher or something, just like in a little small part or something. I don't know. Yeah, I loved it when Scream threw shade at PLL last season, so I'm hoping they will do that again, because it's very much it's very much true. Like it's just, I loved it when they did that. William says Brooke is one of his fave characters, but she was attacked the most out of all the main characters last season, so she could be one of the killers, if not the killer this season. I don't know. She could be, and I could also see her being one who gets killed off soon. But I don't know. She's kind of sneaky, so I don't know. I think that would be cool if she ended up being like evil in some way. Lexi's wondering what if Piper and Audrey were dating in last night's episode. The killer said love letters. Yeah, I think that's a good guess. I like that. Oh, that's so funny. Mark says that Rose McGowan, who's totally irrelevant in my opinion, at this point, she played Tatum, and she was throwing shade at Bex and Carlson on Twitter. So she's definitely not joining for a cameo. Well, honestly, thank you, Mark. No one would know who she was. I mean, let's be real. I think most people know who Courtney Cox is. I don't even know if people know who David Arquette is. I don't know. But what's really cool, and you guys probably know this, is that Emma Roberts was a main, well, I don't want to tell you if you haven't seen it, but she was a main part of Scream 4, which is really cool that she's on Scream Queens. But, if they want to do a cameo, they need to do some of the OG cast. But again, they're so irrelevant at this point. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I was saying earlier in the comments that I feel like Emma's mom could be shady in some way, just because why would she be? And I don't know that answer, but it's like, again, the people who make no sense at this point to be evil or be a killer are going to be your killer. What shade did Scream throw at PLL? I remember it, and it was so funny, Drin, but I don't remember exactly what they said. But it was so like the stuff that we talk about. I was like, this is the best show ever just for doing that. Karen reminds Vanessa of Caleb. I agree, because he's kind of like that dark and brooding person like Caleb. No, you know what? Actually, Karen reminds me not of Caleb. Actually, sort of looks, I guess, like him, but he kind of reminds me of Toby because of his personality and attitude, to be honest. But I get what you're saying. So we have it's almost 6:30, but oh really, Jake's last name is Fitzgerald. Interesting. So I guess we'll wrap it up here pretty soon, but I just want to let you guys know, if you are just now seeing me for the very first time, I'm covering all of Scream season 2. I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss live chats and videos, and my videos will be going up every Wednesday. So my video on this episode will be up tomorrow. So also, if you would thumbs up this video, that would be so awesome. If you got here late, don't worry, because this entire chat will be up on my channel like in 5 minutes after we end. And I just want to thank you guys so much for sticking around. It's been a little bit slow with the TV shows that I've covered, because a lot of you guys don't watch Orphan Black, and The Family was canceled, even though it was excellent. So I really appreciate you coming back for this. I feel like I'm just really excited to have a show like this to talk about because it's so excellent and we could really spend a lot of time theorizing. I feel like we will have longer live chats as the episodes go on because we'll have so much to talk about. But yeah, there have been pigs on Scream and pigs on PLL. I did watch the promo. It looked awesome. It looked amazing. I know it will be. Drew Barrymore would be really cool because I think everyone knows who she is. And she was like kind of like Bella's character in the very first episode of Scream, but they like absolutely replicated that. I loved the first episode of Scream, the series, so much. It was so good. Mark says it's suspicious that Emma was having flashbacks at a pig barn and then Jake got distracted by a pig toy. Yeah, definitely. There was like that pig toy that was on its back and then she was having the pig flashback. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the pig theme, but that is a theme. But somebody with the show tweeted out that this was going to be a theme of psychological stuff, you know, like a very psychological season. So whatever is going on with Emma is going to play a major role in that. I don't know exactly what they're getting at yet. It's a little bit too soon to tell, but it will be interesting to see where they go. Pigtunia is A, definitely. But I just want to thank you guys so much for being here again, and I hope to see you guys every week for live chats and for tomorrow. I hope you watch my new video. I'm just so happy that this show is back because I love it so much. So I'm just going to let you guys go for now, and I hope you have a wonderful week and a good summer, and I hope if you were in school, you're out of school or soon so that you can have some fun things planned this summer. Yeah, I am going to watch PLL. I think that's a good question. I am very concerned about it as always, but I don't know if I'm going to do live chats. I don't know. I think that I'm going to do videos just because I'm going to finish it out, as I've said before. But definitely going to do the video recaps, but I don't know about the live chats because the live chats just end up in being like bashing fest of the show, honestly. I don't know how to, feel about that because honestly, I get tired of doing the live shows and stuff and because I don't like the show and then people complain in the comments like, well, then why are you doing this if you hate the show? It's just like hate, but hey, everyone has an opinion. Like, you don't have to watch it if you don't like what I'm saying. That's what I don't get. But you guys know how YouTube is. So yeah, I'm going to watch it. Definitely will be doing videos. So if you want to watch that and struggle through it with me, that's cool. If you love it and don't want to see me complain, then you don't have to watch it. That's totally fine. So thank you again for being here. And I love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow with my new video. Bye, guys.